Hello. Today I'm actually not going to be doing like my foundation. I already did that. I haven't been using Sunless Tanner, so I went down to the color Candlelit and no, June. Um, and it turned out really nice. So that's why I love being a Saint artist, because anytime you have a color issue, you can just send me a selfie, one with you and the color you're using, so I can see what the issue is, and then one without, and we can see like, is it a color matching issue? I have a video on that. I did a live. It's saved in my IGTV about problem solving, but this is what I love doing this for. It's like I'm your personal makeup concierge. Today I'm going to be doing my eyes, and I realize that for a lot of you, it's cold. But it was 85 here yesterday, so it's hot, and I'm in spring mode. So I'm going to do just like a simple spring eye. So I'm going to go in with this bone colored, I always forget the name of it. I want to call it Valencia, but that's not Valencia. This one is Cupcake. And I actually have a new one to put in here. I'm actually just using a Morphe brush because it's super fluffy and I had it on hand. And I'm just putting this all over. The only thing on my eye right now is just the highlight color that I use to brighten, because I'm all about less is more. I don't want to have to carry, especially since we travel a lot, I don't want to have to carry a lot of products. And so that's one less thing I have to worry about. I have a lot of veins in my eye. I don't know that I think you have to have eyeshadow primer, but I have a lot of veins in my eyes, and so it doesn't make the color look as opaque or saturated as it really is, because you see my veins pop through. So by putting, the same thing here, it helps just even out the skin tone there. And the reason I go in with a color like Cupcake is because it's sticky now. I just put something like sticky on my eye, and if you go in with a medium to dark color, it may have difficulty blending out because it's gonna stick to that. So I tend to like to put almost like a fleshy color all over my eye, and that way any other color I lay down on there is going to blend out really beautifully. And then for everything else, I'm just going to use this brush. It's the Eyeshadow Everything brush, and this would be when it would be mighty handy to have the new brush cleaning tile. It actually just, I have space in here for it already. I just got to order it. It's a tile about this size, and you can just clean your brush off on it and then reuse it. It's awesome. So this is what I love about the Saint products, because this did not all come like this. I slowly built this palette over time. You just buy the individual squares. Now you can get credits for palettes depending on how much product you buy. So I didn't even buy the palette. It came when I ordered a bunch of 3D foundation. So yeah, and it's funny because some of these colors I ordered and I'm like, I don't really use them, but they're there. But it's great because like I would order like the Naked palettes. I'd use one color out of the whole palette, and it's just kind of a waste. So I rarely use like pre-made palettes. Well, I don't anymore because I pretty much just custom built. I like to stay in the realms of like pink and purples or browns, and I may every now and then, like I have this beautiful dark green, use that just as a liner, especially during springtime. It's really pretty, but I'm pretty boring when it comes to my eyes. Okay, so first things first, I am going to take this color right here called Valencia. That's what I always like to call Cupcake. These two are both the same. This is the old one that was previous, cannot speak, mom brain. They reformulated them so they didn't have as much kickback. So this is the reformulated one. This is the old one. It's pretty much, for me, the performance is still the same. You just don't have the kickback. I'm going to put that all over. And it's a really, you can see, very subtle color. I'm always going to like tap my brush just so I don't have any like too much product, especially if you're working with the darker color that falls underneath your eye. And when you hold your brush, I'm holding it further back. The further up you hold it, like you're gonna put more pressure. And I don't need to smush the brush into my eye. So we're just gonna hold it back and be more gentle. This one doesn't matter so much when you're doing a color like this, especially because it's all over the eye, but when you're doing darker colors and placement really matters. When you have deep set eyes, placement really matters. You want to make sure that you're not like smashing it. Sometimes you really just want that color very lightly dusted on and slowly built up. Again, that will help with blending too, versus if you just smush it in there and push it, then you'll get like a patch. It might be kind of hard to blend out. And it's not good for your brush to be like smushed into your face or your eyeball. All right, then next, I'm gonna go into Bubba, and I'm still gonna use this fluffy end. I have Bubba, it's the old formula. There's just a ton of kickback. Kickback meaning like when you tap the brush into the product, there's a lot of fallout. It's very soft is what that means. And that's not a bad thing because it means it's gonna blend out really, really well. And here I'm just creating like a faux crease. So I'm going above my actual crease. And I'm doing like small little circles. And I'm gonna pull it out more so than down. It not be a big deal for you to go down like a windshield wiper. It depends on your eye shape. My eyes, like this side especially, tilts down more than this eye. And I want to make my eyes look bigger and more elongated, so I don't want to go totally down. Okay. And I like to work in really slow layers. So then next, I'm going to go in, that was Bubba, I'm going to go in with this color here. This one is, I forget the name of this one because I just got it. I want to say Oak. Yep, it's Oak. And I'm going to use this end. It's going to be a little bit more pigmented. So I'm just really lightly tapping because I don't want a ton of color. The reason I'm going in with this side is because it's smaller shaped and more dense. You're gonna get more color, but this side, because it's fluffed out more, it's gonna disperse the color across a wider area, and I don't want it to go like in the same area I put Bubba, because then it would just cover up Bubba. I just want a little bit. So I'm like just creating, just like deepening that crease, that faux crease I'm making. And again, my hand is further back because I don't want to put a lot of pressure. I can hear someone's unhappy with his brother and sisters downstairs. And again, we're going to go in there. And then blend. I'm not blending it out for the purpose of like distributing it everywhere. Otherwise I would have just gone in with this end. I'm just blending it so there's no harsh lines. Then if you want, you can like really go in and get like the sides here. Get a little bit more depth. I'm trying to make my eye look bigger. I don't always find like going in with a super dark color on the edge of my eye helps achieve that objective. If you watch, like especially in my YouTube videos, you know I'm a rule breaker. I don't believe in makeup rules. I believe in what is the look you're going for, and then that's gonna decide like what techniques you use. And so I'm just like pushing and then kind of pulling in a little bit. Then you can use this end and blend it. And what I'll do last is take a little, this is like one little trick I love to do. I'm gonna take, I have Zion here, which is like this little, more like, it looks so much darker on here, but it's a beautiful like rusty color, and then Leo. I love throwing those in when I work with browns to just like give a little pop of a color. And when I'm using like purples, I'll go in with like a little bit of a brighter color to give a pop. It just gives it a little bit more interest. And you can just help blend this darker color in. a lot. It's not like a screaming orange. Like it looks so bright and you just see a little pop, but it's nothing like crazy. Okay, then underneath, I'm gonna go back in with oak, and I'm gonna have to look in the mirror for this. And I'm just gonna press in. All right, and then the last thing I do is I like to actually mix Sabrina and, let's forget this one, Rome. They have a little bit different undertone to them. So these, they're shimmery shades. If you get them wet, you'll get more of a color payoff. So you can apply it when you're using shimmery shades or glitter or metallic shades. There's two ways you can apply it. If you get it wet, whether you use a setting spray or water, it's going to like make it pop a little bit more. But you're gonna wanna use like a really packed brush like this. It's really dense, and place it, or just your fingers. I find, honestly, that my fingers just work best. It's easier to kind of work with the product. So I get a little bit of water on my ring finger, and I'll just go in. And then I'm just gonna place it right in the center here so it kind of draws your eye there. It's just really subtle. Sometimes I'll take this peachy metallic color Crush and I'll kind of put it between that brown and where I just did the creams. And then if you want, you can take like a highlight color and get in the corner. So I'm using this, it's like a face highlight color. I don't like actually using this for my face. It's just too much for me. When you have high cheekbones and then you put like something that has like glitter chunks in it, no bueno. You could even too, this is not quite the right shade, but just put a little hint. Blend it out. Putting it right here just draws attention to your iris and the color of your eyes. Just take a finger you didn't have anything on and wipe it. So really subtle. There's a lot of very subtle ways you can use the same 4 or 5 colors and get a bunch of different looks. And then I'm just going to line. I line my waterline. I don't like lining the top of my lid. One, I don't like, I don't know if you've ever watched Kat Fairchild, she can just like drop an eyelid. I don't have that kind of muscle control for my eyes. But I have like, my lid space is precious. It's like oceanfront property. Like there's just, I don't have room for a big thick black line. So what I do is I tight line. When you tight line, you're going up underneath your lashes. It is, I think, one of the grossest things to watch and look at, and you have to be careful because like I frequently smudge it underneath my eye. And I'm just gonna like get it right into my lash line from the underside. And I'll show you the difference between the two eyes. Actually think for me, because I have hazel eyes that run very green and blue, it would be cool to get like a smoky blue. Okay, so it's very, very subtle. You could actually too even take this like bright color and put it underneath here, and that again just draws your attention more. Now the only line I put on the top of my lid is at the very edge. I extend it out a smidge. I don't love doing wing liner because it's not even so much that my eyes are deep set, because there's lots of tricks. It has to do more with where my eye socket and my brow bone, they all converge together, and so it has to like whoop come out, and that is not a pretty look when your wing is in a straight line and it swoops. Not my preference, could be yours, and it's totally cool. So I am just very, 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 and you see that it kind of gives my eye a shape. All right, we're gonna do this side. This is the side I always get transfer. It used to really tickle to tightline, and it was really hard on this eye because it just would make my eyes water, but now I'm used to it. And I'm using the Thrive Cosmetics Infinity Waterproof Eyeliner. I've tried a lot of waterproof eyeliners, even expensive ones. They didn't work. Just smudges everywhere. This one does, I'm not gonna say that it doesn't smudge, but it smudged is the least, and it's just better performing. So then I'm gonna do that little line on the outside. Another reason for me why I don't love doing a wing is my face is not totally symmetrical. I have one, it's almost like Bell's palsy. Like I have one side of my face that's like, this eyebrow falls lower than this eyebrow. The way this lip is different than this side. Like it is not, that's why they say like eyebrows should be sisters, not twins. They're not gonna be exactly the same. It's okay. My eye shape is not the same. And so this eye turns down more. And so my wings just, they're not the same. And versus like, it's makeup. Don't stress over it. Just find something simple that you love. And voila. I'd love to do a challenge too where I do like my left eye with my left hand and my right eye with my right hand. I'd love to see if I could get good at that. I'm using the Thrive. Look at the difference just putting some mascara on. All right, I'm running out of time. Guys, I limit my app time. And when you use this as a job, sometimes it's difficult because I feel guilty for like being like, cancel, add 15 more minutes. So I give myself so much time between all my social media, not per. And it's not a lot of time. And I just got the warning, like, you are about to run out of time. I want to be like, what? I haven't been on at all today. Voila, done. For blush, I used the most coveted color. It's hard to get a hold of in this company because a lot of people use it to color correct on their eyes for blue. I used Frenchie because it has that peachy color. And then I also used Summer Love because it's a little bit more of a gloss. Maybe I'll do another tutorial on it because I do like to use like peaches and pinks together. And that's it. I just tried to pick browns that would like make my eye color pop because that's kind of what I prefer to highlight is my eye color. It's one of my favorite features. And if you're new to makeup or you find makeup overwhelming, pick something on your face that you really like. Usually I find that most everyone has the most beautiful eyes. Don't even worry about technique. Like just find a color that complements your eye color and use that and you'll be fine. So on like a quick to-go day, I use the color Basic. I am pretty sure I have tutorials on here or on my YouTube page because it really makes my eye color pop and I just swipe it all over my eye. That just making your eye color pop will make you feel so good about yourself and you don't need to be wearing tons of makeup or an expert at it. So that's it. I pretty much used minimal brushes. And again, you can put as much or little eyeshadow product you want on. I just wanted to do something a little bit more interesting. And I will say, you guys, like, don't fear colors like this, because that is not like overwhelming, that color. So explore, experiment, have fun. I just think makeup is like art. Like, I think people who wear makeup get a bad rap. It's like you're wearing a mask to try and hide yourself, which I think can be the case. We can do that. But for me, it's the opposite. It's a form of art and expression. And, you know, that creative process, which is really, really important, especially when you're a mom and you're busy and your time's limited. Like, I don't necessarily have the time to go out and set up an easel and paint, but I can do it here really quick. So I'm going to stop jibber jabbering and get off, but enjoy, comment, like, share. It would help a ton if you could share, and I'll see you, I'll probably be in stories in a little while. Bye.